Recognizes the gentlelady from New York, Ms. Maloney, ranking member of our Capital Markets Subcommittee.
Mr. Stumpf, we know now that whistleblowers first contacted the Consumer Financial Control Board about the fraud at Wells Fargo in mid-2013. And you said in your Senate hearings last week that you first found out about the fake accounts in late 2013. And the LA Times article about the scandal was published in December 21st, 2013. I have right here your Form 4 filing, which I'd like to submit to the record.
Without objection.
That shows that on October 30th, 2013, you sold $13 million worth of Wells Fargo stock on the open market. That is by far the largest open market sale of Wells Fargo stock that you made in your 9 years as CEO. So my question is, did you dump $13 million of Wells Fargo stock, which you did through your family trust, right after you found out that your bank had been fraudulently opening hundreds of thousands of scam accounts, ripping off your customers?
Thank you for the question. First of all, the vast majority of our people go to work every day and try to do the right thing.
Excuse me, that was not my question.
But I'll get to your...
Excuse me, my question was, did you dump the stock after you found out about the fraudulent accounts? Because it seems that the timing is very, very suspicious, and it raises serious questions.
I did not sell shares at the time because anything related to...
But your Form 4 says you did sell the shares.
I sold the shares. Today I hold 4 times as many shares as I'm required. I want to stand with our stockholders.
Did you sell these shares or not?
I sold those shares, and I sold them with proper approvals, with no view about anything that was going on with sales practices or anything else.
Well, it seems very, very suspicious that your largest sale was right after your $1.8 trillion bank was turned into a school for scoundrels. You acknowledge that your bank fired over 5,300 people who got caught willfully defrauding your customers, and a recent lawsuit alleges that you fired even more people because they refused to willfully defraud customers. And then you blame the low-level people, you fire them, you make profits, then you dump the stock. So I just have to say that it seems that when you found out about the fake accounts, instead of helping your customers, you first helped yourself. So moving right along to the next question. Mr. Stumpf, you've said that Wells Fargo is conducting a review of all accounts going back to 2009 in order to identify any scam accounts. But last week in the Senate hearings, you were asked if you would extend the review period to before 2009, and you refused to commit to extending the review period back to even earlier. So if you were presented with hardcore evidence that Wells was engaged in some of these practices, these illegal scams prior to 2009, would you change your mind about extending the review?
Thank you for that question. We have agreed with our regulators to go back to 2011. We voluntarily said last week that we'll go back to 2010 and 2009. I've told our team to leave no stone unturned. And if we find a situation where a customer is harmed that goes back prior to that, we will make it right for that customer.
Thank you, because I have the evidence right here. And I'd like to submit to the record a court case in Montana in which 6 Wells Fargo employees were fired, among other things, ordering debit cards for customers without their permission, which is clearly illegal. And according to the court documents, these illegal sales go back to 2007.
Without objection.
So now we have evidence of illegal sale practices going back to 2007. Will you agree to extend the review period back to 2007 to cover this evidence that we are submitting today?
Again, Congresswoman, we're going to go back to 2009 if we can find, and we're going to contact every customer.
But
And if we
this
find-
is evidence that it went back to 2007. My question is, and we thank you for going back to 2009. My question is, we have clear evidence that it goes back to 2007. Will you live up to your commitment of helping your customers that were defrauded with clear evidence back to 2007?
We will go back, and if we find any evidence of any customer that was harmed to 2007 through our review, through 2009, we will take care of each customer.
The time the gentlelady has